Hi, this is Phil from Aragorn, and in this video, I want to show you one of the reasons I'm so excited about Aragorn. I want to show this to you from the perspective of HR. So the technical details of Aragorn are super fun. I enjoy that sort of thing, but I also love to come back to the feeling that you often have when you're trying to solve a technical problem at work, and you might be sitting in a meeting and you're hearing people talk about why something is tricky. Someone's got to go research something. There are these different tests you have to run, and it just feels like, couldn't you just make the data go from here to there? And why is this so hard? And surely the problem has been solved before. And that's something that I see Aragorn bringing to the table. And I want to share this from the perspective, in this case, of a benefits leader, but I think the same thing is true if you run other centers of excellence within HR, is that you can benefit from having a solution that was built from the ground up to empower HR to run their own integrations by taking the nuances of an HR integration and baking them into the technology so you don't have to reinvent the wheel and resolve things over and over again. And I think these benefit integrations are just a great way to see what that looks like. So here's what I want to show you. This is Aragorn. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to look at this United Healthcare integration. I won't walk you through the whole thing, but I just want to show, kind of imagine yourself in that meeting and you're, for some reason, the benefits integration isn't working the way that it's supposed to. And you're hearing people and they're saying, well, there are, on the UHC side, there are all these different codes that we need to map to, and we're trying to figure out what all of those things are. And it shouldn't be that hard. You're thinking, isn't this just a problem that's already been solved? And it has been. So in Aragorn, all your team has to do is they have their data, your data on the left-hand side, and then over on the right-hand side, Aragorn understands what's required from those downstream integrations. In this case, maybe there is the subscriber employment status code, and the valid options are FT for full-time, RT for retired, and so on. Aragorn is baking that knowledge into the connector with United Health so that your team doesn't have to spend a bunch of time going through and figuring that out or trying to get somebody on the phone or paying a consultant to explain all that to them. It's just baked in. And there are other examples of that too in this mapping exercise, but it's really simple for your team to figure out. And then if we go back a step, you might be in, a follow-up meeting and they're saying, well, there's all these complex rules about how the file we send to UHC has to be structured. And they're absolutely right. It is an awful looking file that has to get sent over. I'll pull over an example. If we ran this, a test mode of this, yeah, it's not as simple as just some rows and columns. It looks like absolute, code from the matrix that has to go over. And absolutely, your team would take a lot of time to reinvent this from scratch and figure that out. This is made up data, by the way. But Aragorn just bakes that knowledge in so that your team can respond really quickly and say, great, we built the file. Aragorn understood how to structure it. We sent a test over to the vendor so that they can confirm that they're getting what they want. And it's up to the platform to understand, yeah, you got to have 4 asterisks and then a 34 and then another one when you send that data over. All right. Which opens up a whole new world as well for you as a leader of your area of HR, because it means not only can you set up and have your team run an integration to United Healthcare, but you might decide down the road to have a different benefit package to add or switch over to, say, Anthem instead. And you should have the flexibility to do that without feeling like you're being held hostage by all the sunk costs that you've put into integrating with the previous vendor. And so, yeah, just like Aragorn understood what was required for United Health Group, same idea here in Anthem. Look, the status codes are a little bit different. No worries. It's baked into the tool. We already understand how to do it, so we can let your team really quickly and easily complete that mapping, test it, and send over the file. And if anything goes wrong, there's error handling, there's notifications and alerts that go out. So you get the speed and flexibility that your mind tells you you ought to have when you sit in that meeting and you're thinking, can't you just send the data over? Yes, you can. That's the vision of Aragorn. And hopefully you got a little bit of a taste of what would be possible for the folks who support you to do with Aragorn to be in control of your own integrations. So if you liked it, we'll post more videos like this. Obviously, reach out, hit us up at aragorn.ai, and we'd love to set up a meeting, walk through your particular details, answer your questions, and then just keep a lookout. We'll do more videos like this because on one hand, there's nothing simple in HR, but on the other hand, there's no reason that this stuff has to be as hard as it is. So we're here to solve that problem, and we're looking forward to talking.